Are you curious to understand what has happened to the Indian market today? Then you should not miss this conversation. And this conversation will bring you everything you should know about what has happened in the Indian market in the last 24 hours. So before we begin, I should say that today Indian market reflects what we have seen in the global trend. Majorly in the global trend, we have to say that almost all major global markets was in a very bad state. Almost all major global market has performed negatively and give a bearish performance and give an impression that the world is in the bearish side today. And India is not different. And India, like what we have witnessed in European and US and the Chinese and the Japanese and the Australian and the South African market, is also in the bearish side. Let's dive deep into the Indian market to understand how the market has performed today. Indian market at the time at the beginning, the market was somewhere near 23218.55. By the time the market has reached its peak, it has touched somewhere near 23337.60. Right now it stands at somewhere near 23085. Let's understand how much impact has it created in the market. It is clear that the market has come down nearly 1.47%. That indicates that Indian market is in the bearish side, and it has created a very powerful bearish momentum today. That gives an impression that it is an important reason. There is an important reason to dive deep into the market and analyze whether any of the sector has a different kind of momentum to share. Let's start with auto sector. Auto sector is clear from the chart is that the market has come down to 2.76%. That is a clear downward bearish momentum. That means that Indian auto sector strongly follows the trend in the larger market. But it is important to note here that the auto sector is showing a much more worse bearish momentum than the overall market has witnessed. Overall market, the downward momentum in the overall market was just 1.47%, but the auto sector itself shows a very powerful momentum downwards. That is 2.76%, almost 3% downward momentum in the last 24 hours. That is a very depressing thing if we evaluate it with the larger Indian perspective. The banking sector and the financial service sector and the public PSU bank sector are the three important financial sectors. We can see that all three has shown bearish momentum, when the banking and financial service sector has shown 1.42% and 1.62% downward momentum respectively. The PSU bank sector has shown a very powerful downward momentum of 3.09%. That indicates that the PSU bank sector has shown a worse performance than the bank and the financial service sector. That leads us to give an impression that the PSU sector was one of the worst performer of today, and it is one of the reasons why the overall Indian market has shown a very depressing performance today. And FMCG sector is another important sector. Actually, in most situations, when the overall trend is in negative side, FMCG sector usually show a different kind of momentum. Like what we have recently witnessed that kind of trend. Like when overall scenarios was very negative, there are times when only FMCG sector has shown a powerful upward momentum that deviated from the larger trend. But today, it is clear that FMCG sector is not showing any kind of interest or willingness to stay away from the larger trend. It has come down to 5642.15. That is an 1.22% downward momentum in the market. That looks very unimpressive. When speaking about the IT sector, it is also showing a downward momentum. It mostly resembles the trend we have seen in the bank sector and financial service sector. That is showing almost 1.5 average 1.5 range downward momentums, and here in IT sector we are also seeing an average downward momentum of 1.8 0.37%. That is almost 1.55 range. That momentum indicates that IT sector is also down, and it is a considerable downward momentum in the IT sector we have witnessed today. The market has come down to 43999.10. That is a very clear downward momentum, considering the fact that at the opening the market was somewhere near 44410.70. Media sector is something that need to be noted, something that need to be analyzed differently, because it is a sector that has shown a very, very powerful downward momentum. That the fall of 4.54% in the media sector indicates that the sector has plummeted sharply in the last 24 hours. The market has come down from 1729.50 to a low of 1664.50. At a point, the market has even touched a low of 1654.30 at the time of close. Right now, the market is not far above the low of 1654.75, but it is far below the high of 1749.49. Interesting to note here that after the market has touched the peak of the day, it has consistently come down, and the buyers was losing strength in the market consistently. That was witnessed. Like in the beginning, the buyers have done a small attempt to outperform sellers. Till a few hours in the morning, it has succeeded, but it cannot sustain that momentum. After before reaching the midday, the market has started showing greater strength of sellers. The gaining strength, the sellers were gaining consistently. Sellers were gaining strength against the buyers, and that is the reason why it has come down to such a low of 1654.30 just a couple of hours after the afternoon. Just before the closing time, the market has reached this low of 1654.30, and at the closing time, the market has just grow slightly from the low of 1654.75, which the market has reached just an 30 or 30 to 35 minutes before the close of the day. That is an mystery that need to be understood, why this kind of downward momentum we have witnessed in the media sector. That should be understood in the coming days. And a metal sector is an important sector which has shown an downward momentum today. The market has come down to 7951.35. That is a very powerful downward momentum. What we have like what we have witnessed in the media sector, it has come down nearly 3.77%. And interesting to note here that the markets which have shown very powerful downward momentums, like media sector and metal sector, has shown a very similar trend. They has lost the sellers of the market in the initial hours have tried to push the market upwards, and before the market reached afternoon, before the market entered the afternoon section, there has happened something in the market that helped the sellers to regain their strength, and towards the end, towards the close of the day, the sellers have shown powerful dominance against buyers, and they have even succeeded in outperforming the sellers in a very powerful way. And that kind of strong performance happened just in 30 or 35 minutes before the close of the day. And by the time the market has closed, sellers has taken complete dominance, and buyers could not show any sign of recovery from the low the sellers have taken the market to. That is the trend in the markets where we have seen a very, very considerable drop. If we see that in the larger Nifty 50 perspective, we can also see that in the larger market perspective also we have seen a similar kind of trend. Like just in 10:30 or something, the market has reached a peak of 2331.10. That is a peak the market, the larger Indian market has reached just before an hour or hour two after the market has opened. But after that couple of hours, something has happened that helped the market, sellers of the market, to regain control, and they have consistently gained control over the buyers, and that led the buyers to weaken the strength and lose their battle against the sellers. And at a point just before the market reached its close, just 30 or 35 minutes before the market reached its close, the sellers was able to pull the market to a very depressing low of 23048.75. That is a larger perspective what we're seeing, and that is what we have seen in the trend in almost all the major markets, which we have seen and powerful downward momentum this day. And that pull the market in the market, that pull the sellers could able to make that kind of performance the sellers to able to make in the last minutes where's the reason, and also the inability of the buyers to recover from the low, recover from the consistent growth of sellers and consistent correction of sellers is the reason why the market has seen such a very powerful downward momentum. Everything has happened after the market closed the afternoon section, and everything happened. The sellers was we can see that sellers gaining control in the market consistently in the afternoon section. If in the morning section the sellers was in a very difficult state, and in the initial hours the buyers was slowly gaining control, but the trend, everything changed after the couple of hours after the market opened, and just after the first 2 hours the sellers has somehow managed to outperform the buyers, and that outperformance continued until the market lost the buyers lost complete control of the market, and sellers gain complete control of the market. And the downward pull the sellers could able to create in the market was that much deep that the buyers could not, even though buyers attempted to push the market upwards. We can see here that the overall market, we can see here the Nifty 50 chart, we can see that the sellers at the last moment, buyers at the last moment attempted to pull the price from 23480 to 23100, and but it was quickly overcome by the sellers by pulling the price back to 23064.70, and by the time of the close the sellers, the market was somewhere near 23085.95. That is an overall perspective. That is overall trend we are speaking about. And let's see what has happened in the pharmacy sector. Pharmacy sector, like we have discussed earlier, it also follows the same trend we have witnessed in the overall market. It is also one of the main prominent market which have shown an downward momentum, which is much severe. Like the markets which have shown a downward momentum of 2% or above are considered as a very powerful downward momentum, and it has come down to 2.21903.835 from somewhere near 210.45. That is a 2.13% downward momentum we are talking about. And we should definitely speak about realty sector. Realty sector has completely witnessed a disaster today. It has come down nearly 6.47%. That is a very, very depressing fall we have witnessed in the realty sector. It is very important to understand why this realty sector has shown such a drastic loss, why the sellers in this realty sector market have shown such a powerful performance, and such a way how that they were able to defeat buyers in such a dominating way. That is need to be understood clearly. And at the time the market opened, the market was somewhere near 948.15, and in the trend in the realty sector is slightly different, because it was the opening price. It was at the time of opening that the market showed the best price, and since then the market has been consistently pulling downwards by the sellers, and that is what we have seen in this market, real sector. That means realty sector shows a different kind of trend from the overall perspective. Like when overall trend, when we discuss, we have already learned that in a couple of hours buyers, sellers has attempted to pull the price, push the price upwards, but in the realty sector there is no sign of buyers trying to push the price upwards. There the opening price was the highest price of the day, and from there the sellers succeeded in achieving a consistent downward momentum, and the sellers have pushed the price to a low of somewhere near to 898.15 just an hour before the close, like just at 30 or 35 or 45 minutes before the close. The sellers have succeeded in bringing the price to a severe low of 898.15. One thing that we see here, similar to what we have witnessed in the larger trend, is in the last minute, buyers does make a small attempt to push the price upwards. That is clear. Like just in the last minutes, the buyers have attempted to push the price from 898.60 to 908.80. But like what we have witnessed in other markets, it cannot sustain. It cannot make that momentum and consistent upward push. That led to a fall again in the realty sector, and at the time of close the market was just somewhere near 901.00. That is a very depressing momentum in the realty sector. If we look at the overall perspective, Indian market was down today, and there is some momentum that should be noted. The downward momentum in the media sector, and downward momentum in the military metal sector, and the downward momentum in the PSU bank sector, and much more important is the downward momentum of 6.47% in the realty sector is something that is affected, that has affected the Indian market largely today. And that was an overall view of Indian market and its performance. Thank you for listening. I will come up with another interesting performances analysis in the next coming days. Please stay tuned with us. We will be giving you the most insightful market analysis of the day's performance by analyzing various sectors. Thank you for listening.